Hi, and welcome to Epiphanies Christmas. I'm Reverend Jessie Brandon, and I'm a life cycle celebrant as well as a metaphysical minister. And Epiphanies is about books. And today I have the gift of Christmas because I'm talking about the classics. So the first one I chose is A Christmas Carol with Ebenezer Scrooge. And of course, we all know the story of Ebenezer, and if you don't, I'll tell you anyway. He is a man who becomes so focused on money that eventually that's all he thinks about, and he runs a counting house, and he has Bob Cratchit that works for him, and he's very unkind, and anyone who asks for anything doesn't get it, and he just really works Bob Cratchit to the very bones. And he goes home at night and he's visited by three spirits. Actually, he's visited by his former partner, Bob Marley, who tells him that three Christmas spirits will be coming. And the first one is Christmas past, so that he sees the way his life was. And the Christmas present, he sees the way it is for everybody that he knew. And then, of course, Christmas future tells him what's going to happen to him if he doesn't change. Unfortunately, he wakes up and he does change, and he runs to the window and he realizes that Christmas isn't over, that he is in time to change his ways. And he goes to the window and asks a young boy what day it is, and he says Christmas morning, and he throws him down some money, and he goes to get a turkey and presents that he has sent to the Cratchit home. And it's really just a wonderful story, and the whole point of it is that he is accepted into the family because he learns that Christmas is about giving and kindness. So that's always been one of my favorites. And then, of course, we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. You can't tell me you haven't read Seuss. If you do, I'm coming to your house to read to you. So I wanted to read you a part of this because, again, there's a theme here that I'm trying to make a point about. So, the Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one knows quite the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. So he goes about his business of stealing everything in town because he doesn't want them to celebrate Christmas. He hates Christmas. And so he sees that in Whoville, they're all very happy and all ready for Christmas. And so he goes into town when everybody's sleeping, and he steals it all. And so then he says, it's like this. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's, he was grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a moment or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will cry boo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. So, of course, what he hears is the people in Whoville are singing, regardless of no Christmas decorations, no presents, no trees, because he hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And then the Grinch thought of something that he hadn't thought before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And that's the whole thing. Again, we're talking about a bad spirit and then redemption, and then kindness. So now we come to the best classic of all. It's my favorite, A Charlie Brown Christmas by Charles Schulz. And I've watched this every year since I was a wee child, and I absolutely love it. I almost think I could say the words to the movie without having them written down. And I just want to read you this part because, again, it speaks to what I'm saying. Charlie Brown felt so depressed he decided to see his psychiatrist, Lucy. He dropped a nickel in her can and sighed. I just don't understand Christmas. Instead of feeling happy, I feel sorted down. You need to get involved, Lucy exclaimed. She knew just how to get her patient into the Christmas spirit. How would you like to direct our Christmas play? I'll meet you at the theater. So that's typical Lucy. She's, telling him what to do, and she's got him involved in the play, and he goes, and everybody gets their parts, but Schroeder is playing on the piano, and everybody's dancing, and every time Charlie tries to get them to act out their parts, they'd rather dance. And he gets very upset about it all and says, what about the true meaning of Christmas? Here they are all dancing. And so he's trying to get them to understand that there is something important here. And they just won't listen. So he says, I know, I'll go get a Christmas tree. And everybody says, that's right, we need a big, shiny aluminum tree. And that's exactly the problem that Charlie's been having, is that he's so unhappy that Christmas has become so commercialized, and that it's all about money and getting presents. And everybody's forgetting that there really is a reason for Christmas. So anyway, he heads off to the Christmas tree lot, and he goes there with a knot in his stomach, and he says, I don't know, Linus, I just don't know. He's so unhappy because all of the trees are just so bright and pink and shiny, and anyway, Linus says, gee, do they still make wooden Christmas trees? And Charlie Brown pointed to a tiny tree barely strong enough to hold on to its needles. He says, this one seems to need a home. And of course he takes the tree back to the theater where everybody's dancing and having fun, and they laugh like crazy at him because it's the saddest tree you've ever seen. But Charlie knows that the tree needs him. And so he says, I guess you were right, Linus. I shouldn't have picked this little tree. I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about. So then Linus steps into the spotlight, and he tells the story of Christmas. And then there were shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And the angel of the Lord came upon them and said, Fear not, for behold, I bring you great tidings of joy. For unto you is born this day a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And there was the angel, a multitude of heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, Glory to God, peace on earth, goodwill to men. And that's what Christmas is about, Charlie Brown. Now, as you know, I'm not a religious minister, but I really think that story talks about how great hope is born that day, and that we will be led out of the darkness into love and kindness. And the story goes on. Suddenly, Charlie Brown didn't care what anyone thought about him or his tree. He felt happy the way he was supposed to feel at Christmas. Linus is right. I won't let all this greed spoil my Christmas. I'll decorate this tree and show everyone it really worked in the play. Well, he tries, but he really doesn't make it look the way he wants it to look. And he, once again, walked away with his shoulders as bent as the little tree's trunk. But the others come from the theater, and they realize that it's not a bad tree, really, Linus says. He wrapped his blanket around the base. It just needs a little love. The rest of the gang helped, and in a flash, Snoopy's doghouse decorations were transferred to the tree. And they gathered around the tree, and they hummed O Little Town of Bethlehem. And the tree, with all their love and care, has become the true meaning of Christmas. Charlie says, how had the tree become so beautiful? His heart filled with joy when he realized what everyone had done for his tree. It was a Christmas miracle. So Linus, Lucy, and the rest of the gang smiled and shouted, Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown. And for Charlie Brown, it truly was the merriest Christmas. Wait a second. I think I hear someone. I hear some bells. Maybe it's Santa. It's Jen CB, the Christmas queen. Hi, Jen.
Hello, my dear.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm super. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me on here.
This is awesome. So, what do you think of the books that I chose?
Oh, I love them. They're the three of my favorites too. Absolutely. Yeah. Especially the Charlie Brown Christmas. My mom even nicknamed me Charlie Brown as a kid. So
yeah.
I'm particularly favorite of that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So why did she call you Charlie Brown?
She just always said, you're a good kid, Charlie Brown.
Aww.
So it was just something, because I just kind of led the beat of my own drum and just walked my own path, and that's what I feel that Charlie Brown does. And even though he's searching for answers, etc., he tries to find out his answers, on his own path, etc.
I think it was. These are Jen's dogs, by the way, Striker and Bacardi, and they've joined us for Christmas too.
They have, and they're just keeping the energy with us too, and sharing the love.
So I think my setting my cup down made them think somebody was at the door.
I think so. That happened one time here. Yeah. That happens a couple of times.
Yeah. So I have to be honest, we're actually in Jen's beautiful home because it was all ready for Christmas, and I just wanted to be able to share that with you. And so Jen very graciously offered her home for the show.
Yes, I'm very honored. Thank you so much. And I always say to people, if I could be a professional Christmas tree decorator, I would, because there are so many that I decorate during the Christmas season, from November 1st to the 12th to December 1st, right up until the holiday season. I just love the decor of everything and bringing everything together, and the tree itself shares a story, a story of you and your journey and all the ornaments that you've collected over the years, etc. And I love teaching that with people too, as we approach the holiday season. Yeah. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I went through my storage unit and was paring down my Christmas decorations because 10 boxes was too much. And I happened to find a box of Christmas ball decorations that my father always put out when we were kids. And he had a process for how our home was decorated. And anyway, so I found these, and I contacted my sisters and asked them if they would each like some of these decorations, so that now we can all have a piece of our history that we put on our tree.
That's beautiful. The tree itself shares a story, right? Just like you're sharing the stories here, which I absolutely love.
Yeah. Yeah. So share a little bit of your Christmas story with me.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you know me, and everybody does in the Barrie area and local, I'm a big Christmas buff. I celebrate the Christmas season. Those are just the bells. I celebrate the Christmas season and the Christmas spirit 365 days a year.
You sure do.
And I play the Christmas songs 365 days a year, because there is that vibrational frequency, of being that positive and finding the magic along your path. And so Christmas for me has always been about family, about coming together, sharing that love, that gift giving, and also the traditions with it. And so there's so much, from me as a kid, that it was all about those traditions, not necessarily the presents piled high and stuff. That was just wonderful, to have, but it was about, going out to Swiss Chalet with the family a couple weeks before Christmas, and then driving around looking at Christmas lights, going to the Santa Claus parade, decorating for the Festival of Trees, and donating your time for charities at this time of year.
I know, oranges, the smell of oranges and hot chocolate, it's Christmas to me.
Yes. It is. And that energy, seeing people in that hustle and bustle, like at the mall and stuff, I love that energy, because what they're doing at the end of the day is trying to create something magical for someone else, and that's love. At the end of the day, it's the greatest power of all, is love.
Yeah.
And so whether or not you celebrate the Christmas traditions, or if it's not Christmas, if it's Hanukkah, if it's Chinese New Year, if it's the winter solstice, at the end of the day, it comes down to the greatest power of all, which is love. And that's magic.
Yeah,
That's absolutely magic. So that's a little bit about my Christmas history and why I'm such a big Christmas buff. And
I absolutely love it. When I tell people about you, I say you'll probably get some sort of message from Jen saying it's only 364 days till next Christmas.
I will be saying that on our Canadian Boxing Day. It's 364 days. It's 150 days, or on the in June, around June 24th, 25th, it's halfway to Christmas.
I know, and I love the reaction of people on Facebook when they see you put up Christmas posts all through the summer, and they're like, no, and I'm like, yes.
And it is about the people who say, yes, go for it, Jen, that's amazing. You have the Genergy going, and I do get the oy vey, but that's the part that I teach people, is that the sense of darkness and light. You're gonna have people that agree, you're gonna have people disagree, and that's the beauty of life's magic. And as we're coming into the winter solstice, and embracing all of the celebrations, not just Christmas, like I said, Hanukkah, Chinese New Year, all that stuff, New Year's, etc., we are approaching the darkness part of our global planet. And through that darkness, embracing the trials and tribulations of your life, the lessons that you've learned over the last year, the last couple of years, etc., surrendering into it, walking that path, and then as the sun is emerging, the sun is being born, it becomes magical, and the light illuminates your path. So that's essentially the essence of Believing Your Dream, life coaching.
Right. So tell me some more about Believing Your Dream. How did that come about?
Believing Your Dream, life coaching stemmed from my own dream through depression, obesity, that darkness, right? Rising and become that semi-pro national athlete, understand the trials and tribulations with that. And I wanted to promote that and understanding that the difficulties of that, but rising to greatness, believing in something greater than yourself, believing the things unseen, right? Just like Santa, right? And Believing Your Dream is about understanding that mind, that body, that spiritual connection along your path.
Absolutely.
And so what I teach is help you find the magic along your path.
Absolutely.
So it is embracing about goal setting strategies, about the speaking component. I do teach mindfulness training and meditation, and also labyrinth experiences too.
Really? Okay. So you are doing a labyrinth experience for solstice, are you not?
Absolutely. I do appreciate and I do love celebrating the solstices. So this year we are going to be walking the labyrinth, dropping down into the heart center, which is the mirror image of the labyrinth. It's your own heart center. And on the winter solstice, embracing that darkness, embracing it, because that's when the moon shines down, right? And it illuminates the abundance of sparkle on the snow. Yeah. And so that's coming up on the 21st of December.
That's wonderful. I can't wait. I hope I'm allowed to invite people.
Absolutely. Share it out. It's whoever feels called to the circle. That's what it's about.
That's wonderful. So you've been doing a lot of labyrinth walking and discovering different ones in our community, haven't you?
Absolutely. We have one at Sunnydale Park, which is beautiful. And so many people say that, I've never noticed a labyrinth there. And that's what I share with people is the magic along your path. Sometimes the answers are only surface deep. It's just beyond the tree line. And so that's where earth energy can help us heal and teach and guide us along our path in life. So that's essentially, and that's just right around the corner here. But
really?
there is a labyrinth out, in Midhurst as well. Labyrinths all over the place. You just have to find it. And if you don't know, just message me. I would definitely love to help you find a labyrinth along your path.
You can find Jen Casement Boutneau or Jen CB.
Yeah.
What's your email? Or how do you want people to contact you?
Just contact me on Facebook. Social media is the easiest, right? Everybody is on the social media platform. Believe in Your Dream with Jen CB. Yeah. You can message me there, fire a message out there. That's awesome. Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, I really love the work that you do, and I think that it's just absolutely amazing. The path that you followed in the last just over a year has just been such a grace to watch you
thank you, my
go
dear.
through it. And just for those of you that don't know, Jen lost her husband just over a year ago, and this is grace in action, because she's just shown us all how to come to a place of happiness yet again.
Thank you. Yes, it is about surrendering yourself into the darkness. And,
Right.
and when trials and tribulations happen, it is about that surrendering into the darkness and stuff. And I love the fact that, you know, Christmas is so much a part of me. And I have an idea. Would you like to join me on a spiritual journey right now?
I would love to.
Let's go on a spiritual journey right now. I got a
Okay.
surprise.
All right, well, you know what? We're going to go to break, and when we come back, let's see where Jen takes us. Don't forget to come back to Epiphanies.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a lustre of midday to objects below. When what do my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick. I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face, and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, and turned with a jerk, and laying a finger on the side of his nose, giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like a down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Well, this is lovely. Thank you so much for bringing us here.
Oh, you're most welcome. Welcome to the Sunnydale Labyrinth, right here in Central Barrie. It's a beautiful, beautiful walking meditation experience for anyone to enjoy at your own accord. There is the female energy here, which we've just walked. There's also the male energy labyrinth right over there too, if that's what you prefer.
And of course, we've both done a lot of work in the labyrinth. I do a women's release ceremony walking the labyrinths, and you of course teach courses on the labyrinth while walking them. Because now tell us what you said about the history being lost.
Well, the labyrinth dates back ancient Minoan culture, so we're talking 6,000 years, and it provides an alternative meditation experience to tap into your heart's center, strengthening that inner power, and it becomes magical and tapping into that earth energy, etc. And yes, because of today's society, it has been a little bit lost and we've forgotten about it, and it's important to share in the circle and to share in that love, and more labyrinth facilitators are popping up all over the world right now, and it's just a beautiful experience.
And I'm just going to get some hot chocolate.
Sounds good.
And you're having a labyrinth walk on solstice. December 21st is solstice.
On the winter solstice. You can tap into my Facebook page, Believing Your Dream with Jen CB, for the event. We're going out to Elmville, and labyrinths are all over the place. It's amazing to find this magic, and when they come into your circle, you know, that's when you find them. They're just under the surface. So we're going to head out to Elmville. Our dear friend Lisa is hosting out there.
Right.
So yeah.
And of course, we know Vanessa Dewsbury, who also does meditation work, and we've done meditation in the park every month throughout the summer. So what I want to say to you, though, is that this is the Christmas magic, and meditation will help you get through the Christmas season if you're struggling with things, and just allow it to fill your heart with peace. And we wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas. Jen, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And if you're celebrating Christmas, if you're celebrating Hanukkah, the winter solstice, Chinese New Year, wishing you a wonderful, happy holiday season.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching.